What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. If you watched yesterday's video, you know what today's video is. And today, we're covering 10 more decks that are going to be played that you could potentially play for the internationals. Now, even though we're covering 20 decks altogether, there is still a ton of different decks that you can play in. And when I was digging through these lists and finding some, I forgot about, I forgot about a deck from the start of the season that we're going to cover that did make top 8. It did surprise me, and if that deck surprised you, then anything at Nationals can surprise you this weekend. So get ready. If you have a deck that you think is good, don't be scared. I'm proving that we have 20 different lists. Now, if you missed yesterday's video, you can rewatch it if you want to break down my list we covered yesterday with Decidueye Vileplume, Decidueye Ninetales, Trample Garbodor, Espeon Garbodor, Metagross, Vigavolt, Tapu Bulu, Lurantos, Tapu Bulu, Gyarados, Pat Shitty, aka Lapras deck. I guess it'd be like Lapras slash Pat Shitty, and Darkrai. And today we're covering 10 new decks. Now, some of these, a lot of these you are going to probably have already seen. Some of these are going to be old friends that are now back. But today, we're going to start off with a Mega Rayquaza deck. Now, we cover Mega... Oh, wrong button. Wrong button there, buddy. Alright, so there is Mega Rayquaza. Now, this list is going to look somewhat familiar, but this is actually the first place list that Ian used to win in the regionals in South America. I can't remember the exact place, but it's what we kind of based the list off of that we saw last week. Mega Rayquaza with the Emerald Break, 30 times many bench Pokemon as your side of the field. We got the Mallow, which proved fantastic. It was amazing. Search straight for 2 cards and put them on top of your deck. Combine those Unknown, you can like Mallow, then Unknown to hit whatever you need. Maybe a Shaman, maybe a Rangaroo. There's a lot of different things you have in here. But there is some new stuff in this deck that Ian has included. One of them is a Nest Ball to search deck for a base Pokemon to put it into your bench. This can automatically grab you like a Rangaroo, an Unknown. You really don't want a Nest Ball for like a Shaman or Tapu Lele or a Dragonite, because then it doesn't activate, or a Hoopa. But the Nest Ball can get you a Rayquaza, a Rangaroo, or the Unknown. Okay, another new thing he has included is this new Mega Rayquaza, the Delta Max. When you play this, when one of your Pokemon becomes this Pokemon, heal all damage from it. So what you could do is like maybe have a Rayquaza in the action spot, let it take a hit for 1 turn, and then Mega Evolve if you want to like Mega Evolve your bench Mega Rayquaza. So like you can like do a bunch of stuff, Mega Evolve the bench to end your turn, and the next turn evolve the active after they smack it and have a brand new Mega Rayquaza. The only difference is this Rayquaza has the Delta Evolution and allow you to evolve in the first turn, while the Theta Max automatically heals it. And besides that, it's going to be kind of the same list we've seen before. The Psychic Energy, of course, to use the Tapu Lele if needed. You can use Tapu Cure, or if you're really desperate, Hyperspace Fury. It's a really good list. With Kukui, you can draw 2 cards, a Rangaroo to draw a couple cards, Dragonite, get Pokemon your discard pile. This list doesn't play an Oricorio, but if you're scared of Vespiquen, then you can easily play an Oricorio. So that is going to be the Mega Rayquaza list that got first place at regionals. Alrighty, so it's going to be deck number 1. There's 10 of these all together. Next up is a deck that got first place that we've seen as well. It's piloted by Danny? Yeah, I don't know why. I was having a brain fart for a second. I almost said Finnegan, but it's Danny playing the Zoroark Drampa deck. Now, Zoroark has the Mind Jack 10 plus 30 more damage each every opponent's bench Pokemon. Of course, this is partnered with the Zoroark Break with the Foul Play to choose one of your opponent's attack and use it as his attack, which is fantastic. You got the Tapu Koko to help spread some damage if needed, and you got Drampa. So if your opponent opts to like not put damage or not put a bunch of bench Pokemon, you can then start punishing them with Drampa, which is fantastic. Or early game, you can start tackling Drampa while getting a Zoroark Breakout as well. We do see an Oricorio on this list, of course, have that supernatural dance for each Pokemon in your opponent's discard pile. Put 1 damage counter on your opponent's Pokemon any way you like, which can help you almost auto-win Vespiquen. Now, Vespiquen players will say that no, it doesn't, blah, 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 but it's so good. It's really good. Like, Oricorio is a really good card for sure. But there's a lot of good things in this deck. There's a Teammates, so if Pokemon gets knocked out, you can search deck for any 2 cards, put them in your hand, which can guarantee like a DCE and a Zoroark or whatever you need. 3 Choice Band to do additional 30 damage, which is really strong. The Magma Base, so we can activate the Drampa's Berserk attack, which is what is really needed. And we see this list is playing Fan Club and Bridget. Now I know we talked before about how Sunless playing one or the other depending on the situation. Do they want to put Pokemon down or cards in their hand? Now, what this can do is actually help you late game, because you can late game Fan Club for like a Shaman or something, or maybe even bridge it to get more Pokemon. But early game, you usually want to bridge it to get a bunch of Pokemon down, and then of course Fan Club late game to use Shaman, or you can still use it early game if you just need 2 Pokemon, which is fine as well. Kukui do extra 20 damage, and everything else seems pretty much straightforward. We've seen this deck before, so that's gonna be the first place. Drampa Zork break deck that Danny used to win regionals. Alright, sorry, I don't know why I was struggling there. I don't know why I keep jumping all the way down. Next up is going to be Glade. Once again, another deck based off of the Mallow, which I'm starting to love Mallow. It's such a good card. Like, at first, I was like, Mallow was underrated, but to put 2 cards on top of your deck and then draw into them in some way, like with the Unknowns or the Ringaroo, and in this one is Octillery, it is so good. You're kind of like stacking, which is illegal in Pokemon, but in this case, it's not, so that's really, really good. You got the Glade with the Sensitive Blade, 60 and does 70 if you played a supporter card. Premonition rearrange top 5 cards of your deck, and the reason why this deck's so good is, of course, of the Octillery, to use that Pistol Hand to draw 5 cards in your hand. Combine this with Premonition and Mallow, you're able to draw any cards you want to over and over again and easily win games. Now, some people might say this deck goes with Garbodor, but if you watched our video when we played it, we easily took down Garbodor, so I would not be worried about Garbodor. I mean, it's still like a shaky matchup for sure, but if you play your cards right, you like mainly involved in Glaze, you don't play them in the item cards, you can easily take down the deck, which is fantastic. Let's get with the teammates in here. This list is going to play 2 Bridget, and you kind of want to Bridget turn 1 to get multiple routes and ready onto the field. 2 Special Charge, because you do only play the 4 DCE. And yeah, we saw this list last week. It's really, I think it was like, last week for Rogue Tuesday. Still a really, really good deck, and it's a highly considered deck by multiple people. And I think if you're going to Nationals, you definitely need to watch out for this. It's kind of making an appearance out of nowhere. And just be able to Sensitive Blade over and over and over again for 130 is such a strong thing. And with Kukui and Choice Band, you can start doing a ton of damage. 130, 150, 180. And you can start one-shotting things. You have 150 HP, and you can constantly keep recycling your Glades thanks to the Octillery and the Mallow stuff. So yeah, that is going to be the Glade Octillery deck. Make sure you check it out. And this got top 16 at Mexico regionals 2 weekends ago. Alright, so that is deck number 4, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, deck number 3, sorry. So 7 left to go. And next up is going to be an old friend that we haven't seen in a long time, but got a lot of hype when Sun and Moon, the new set came out. Guardians Rising came out, and that's because of Choice Band. Choice Band, giving this deck an extra 30 damage, made it a lot stronger for sure. And then, of course, is Greninja, as we see right here. And the point of the Greninja deck is, of course, turn 2, use the Water Duplicates to search deck for 3 Frogadier and put them to your bench. You can then use Shadow Stitching for 40 to shut down abilities until the end of your opponent's turn, or Moonlight Slash for 60 to return a Water G from your hand and do an additional 20 damage, which is 80. And then with the Choice Band, you do 110. And with the Greninja Break, you can start using Giant Water Shuriken, and when you discard a Water G in your hand, you can put 6 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon, bringing it up to 170. And you can do this for each Greninja Break when it's in the act spot, so you could double Greninja Break, because that Greninja does have a free retreat, which is really strong, and this is what makes the deck really, really good. And we like at the beginning of the year, it was really played everywhere. It had, it was a big target. Everybody was playing it. It was really strong, and it kind of has died off since then. But it has made a appearance, and it actually made a couple of appearances. This one is the top 4 from Indonesia regionals. So make it top 4, which is great. It does play like splash energies to get if a water Pokemon's knocked out, you return all the Pokemon back into your hand and discard all the other cards. So like the Choice Band and Water G would be discarded, but still recycling your Greninjas, and it's fantastic. And thanks to Tapu Lele searching for a Wonder Tag, you can get a turn 1 Wally to potentially get a turn 1 Water Duplicates, which is really strong. 2 Jirachi with the Stardust, and I know we talked about this before in a regional discussion video. We talked about how strong Stardust is right now. Just be able to discard DCEs and stuff is really good, and make it Jirachi immune is pretty cool. Now, one of the things that Greninja did struggle with was Garbodor, but now, of course, thanks to Field Blower, you can get rid of those tools and Stadium cards in play, which is fantastic. We do play 2 of those. 1 Stretcher and 1 Super Rod, so we can have multiple ways to get back our Pokemon. And the list is going to be 2 Paralocity and 1 Silent Lab. I'd actually probably put like 3 Silent Lab, but now you have Tapu Lele in your deck, so it's a little bit different. But Paralocity can put your opponent down to 3. That's pretty much what you want to do with it. Or no, you can put yourself down to 3, so you can bump like Tapu Lele and a Jirachi off maybe. I don't know. I don't really like the Paralocity here now. I'd actually just play like more Silent Labs. Or even just a Faded Tower, just play a Stadium card if needed. But Silent Lab's definitely a little bit better. But like I said earlier, you kind of can't counter your Tapu Lele's. 1 Ace Trainer, which is really strong because your opponent is going to take their first prize. And once they do this, each player shuffles the hand to the deck. And then you only play this card if you have more prize cards left your opponent. Then both players shuffle. You draw 6 and your opponent draws 3. So it's punished them from taking early knockouts. Which Froakie only has 60 HP. So they're easily going to knock it out. 1 Fishman, get the Water G's back into your hand. 1 Hex Mini, extra done abilities. 2 Lysander, 4 N, and 3 Sycamore. Now, usually it's the other way. It's like 3 N and 4 Sycamore. But since this deck like doesn't take prize cards as fast, you can punish them and, of course, play an N as well. So that is going to be the Greninja deck that got top 4. I think his name was Hindi. And at Indonesia Regionals. Alright, so there's Greninja right there. And next up is going to be Lycanroc Raichu. Now, this is a deck we haven't really featured before on the channel, but I can explain it pretty well. We have seen Lycanroc before. It has the Bloodthirsty Eyes. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, during your turn, you may switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with one of their active Pokemon. So basically, it's a Lysander, more like a red signal, kind of. They bring Pokemon with the bench, its ability. And the reason why this is so strong is because with this deck, you need to play a bunch of cards, you need to draw a bunch of stuff, and you really can't play like a Lysander with that. You have to play like a Sycamore or Teammates to dig to find cards. But with the Lycanroc, you kind of achieve that. And what we're trying to do today is Circle Circuit. Circle Circuit does 20 damage times the number of your bench Pokemon. So, of course, with Skyfield, you can do 160. With Choice Band, you can do 190. With Kukui, you can do additional 20. And you can see how this deck starts racking up a ton of damage. Now, since it's for each bench Pokemon, that's why you can put the Lycanrocs on there and like have a Rockruff into Lycanroc at any moment. And just bring up a Pokemon and take a knockout if there's not an EX in the act spot, which is really cool. Now, this deck does play Giratina, which makes where breaks have no abilities. Because without it, you kind of like just auto-lose to like Greninja. Because they can take multiple prize cards in one turn. Wow, you're only taking 1. Yeah, because Greninja doesn't play any EXs or GXs besides Tapu Lele that we saw, and even then, they probably won't bench it. So Devour Light can shut down those Greninja breaks, making where they can't, Giant Water Share can take multiple knockouts, and you can kind of just exchange back and forth, which is really cool. 1 regular Hoopa with the Hyper Space Punch does do 20 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. I don't know how I feel about this card, but obviously he knows what he's doing. He did make, top 8 at the Austrian Open. There we go. I don't know why I was struggling saying that. Did I have his name? Philip. Yep. Made top 8 with his Lycanroc Raichu deck. 1 Dragonite, get 2 base Pokemon out of your discard pile into your hand, which is really nice. So if they break your Skyfield, you can then put it back down, put more Pokemon down, which is really strong. Of course, Special Charge. We've seen Special Charge in a bunch of decks. And you're actually going to see a fighting energy, and that's because if you want to use Claw Slash, you can. It does 110, or you can use Dangerous Rogue. This deck does 50 damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So you could just bring up somebody in nowhere and take a knockout as well, which is really nice. If they have a bunch of bench Pokemon, you can Bloodthirsty Eyes, put an energy, and take a knockout. So that's pretty cool. 2 teammates, gaining 2 cards out of your deck. The only thing I'm kind of questioning is like the 2 Trainer Spell. I think it's very like strange and random to have in there. I'm always like the type of user to play like 0 or 4 Trainer Spell. But we do see 2 in here. Or okay, I did play 3 into Decidueye, so I guess I can't say anything too much really. Alright, but yeah, that's going to be the Raichu Lycanroc deck. Of course, you just put a bunch of Pokemon down. You could do this with Shaman, a bunch of Pikachus, maybe some Rockruffs, put down the Giratina. And then you start Circle Circuit, taking some knockouts over and over again, and that's going to be the plan. The deck does play 3 Rescue Stretchers, so you can easily recycle your Raichus and stuff like that, which is really nice. So that is going to be the Raichu Lycanroc deck. Like I said, we haven't covered this before, but Raichu just singing for a ton of damage for a non-EX attacker is really, really good. The card you really have to worry about is Sudowoodo, of course. Sudowoodo can put you down to 4. Same thing with Rayquaza. Sudowoodo can destroy both of those decks pretty easily, which we saw yesterday a bunch of decks did include it, but today we're not going to see as much. Alrighty, so going along, and alright, so here we are at Ninetales. Now, this is a deck that we've seen, but we haven't, I think we covered this list before. This is actually Tobias' top 4 from Birmingham, which I think we did cover before, but, you know, that Ninetales GX, we saw it yesterday partner with the Decidueye, but today it's going to be its main attacker, and it has the Blizzard Edge 160, discard 2 energy from this Pokemon, which can just be a DC or 2 water energies, which is fine. With Choice Band, you can do 190, and with Kukui, you can hit for 210. Now, the deck will play 4 Aqua Patch to put Water Energy from your discard pile to one of your bench water Pokemon, and 2 Tapu Kokos, which is really nice because with the spread plus a 160, you can start taking knockouts pretty easily because, you know, the spread does 20 everywhere, and then plus that is 180, and then, of course, you know, Choice Band and Kukui, you can start swinging for a ton of damage. 1 Manaphy to give that free retreat to Pokemon with Water Energy attached to it, which is really nice. 1 Shaman and 2 Tapu Lele. 4 Rough Seas, so that way your water Pokemon can get healed in between turns, or at every turn for 30, which is really cool and nice. And yeah, I mean, not much else to say about Ninetales. It's a pretty straightforward deck. You do have the Ice Path GX, which I said yesterday is the reason why Ninetales is so broken, because you can move all damage counters from this Pokemon to your opponent's Act Pokemon, which is really, really strong. And yeah, that is going to be the top 4 Alolan Ninetales deck. Okay. So, next up is a deck that I said earlier that I thought had died off, but hey, it made it a reappearance, and actually had 2 top 8 placements by Dalton and Cassiano at Curitiba. I'm not even sure how to say this place. Oh my goodness, I apologize, guys. It was a regional somewhere, but it had 2 top 8 placements by Dalton and Cassiano. Yeah, play a Rainbow Road, which is a deck I thought was gone, but hey, it has made an appearance, and it's made me happy. So if you don't know, Xerneas has the attack Rainbow Force. It does 10 and then 30 more damage for each different type of Pokemon on your bench. And this can easily be attained with, like, Pawniard, because, I mean, Bisharp, because Bisharp is a dual type, so you have the grass and the metal, you got, I mean, not grass and metal, dark and metal, you got Galvantula with the lightning and grass, Volcanion with the grass and water, and so with just those 3 cards, you can do 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, you can do 190 damage, which makes Xerneas, oh my goodness, it's... Man, makes me kind of want to play Xerneas right now. But yeah, I mean, it was a really good deck, and I don't know why it kind of died off. I guess because it's like kind of hard to set up. Now, you could play this deck with like E-Axis, like we've seen it play with like Flygon, Agenus, and stuff like that, and now Choice Spin can do additional 30 damage. You still play the EXP share. The thing about Xerneas, he needs a Fairy Energy and a Colors, or a DCE, and yeah, I thought the deck was dead, but it looks like it's making made an appearance in a regional, so maybe we'll see it make an appearance in internationals. It does play a Ringaroo to instruct to get 3 cards in your hand, and if we're almost in a heavy EX format, GX format thing, but you still have to worry about Vesquane, and you have to worry about Zoroark a little bit. And the problem with those 2 decks is they can like trade fairly well. And that's what makes this deck kind of scary, because you have to get 3 energies on you, and they can easily get a DC on their guy to take a knockout. And there's cards like Field Blower to get rid of EXP share, so you really can't recycle your Xerneas that much. But I'm still excited to see this deck, and I wonder if people will play. I mean, somebody, like, there's going to be like 2,000 people at internationals, so of course there's going to be Rainbow Road there somewhere. Somebody's going to be playing Rainbow Road, and I'd be excited to see if it made a comeback or not. And yeah, I'm excited to see this deck. Will it work or not? If you love Rainbow Road, test this list out, and maybe it'll be the deck for you if you missed the deck or not. So that is going to be the Xerneas, the Rainbow Road deck, as people call it. And it did make 2 top 8 placements in at some regionals I can't say the name of. Alright, so next up is going to be Solgaleo. We see this deck keep popping up over and over again. Now this deck is a little bit different. It is not Metagross Solgaleo, it's just Solgaleo. We saw yesterday there was a straight Metagross deck, and now we're going to see a Solgaleo deck just straight up by itself, piloted by Tito Santosa. Tito Santosa, who would win Indonesia Regionals. And if you don't know, Solgaleo has a Sunstone Strike for 230, discard all energy for the Pokemon, and it has that ability, Ultra Road, to switch. You may switch to your X Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, so it's like a free switch every turn. But the key thing we will look at is Soul Burst GX. Search deck for up to 5 energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon any way you like, then shuffle your deck. This means you can put DCs on the field or Metal Energies, because both every time you use one is 1 energy. And what we kind of want to put it on is the other Solgaleo. This Solgaleo has Fangs of the Soon for 170, and you can't use Fangs of the Soon during your next turn, which is really strong. I mean, it does 170. You can then like switch out with Solgaleo and maybe retreat somebody, which is really nice, and attack with it again. And also you have Drampa in here with that Berserk. And the reason why this is so good is because when you use that Soul Burst GX and your opponent attacks your Solgaleo, you get in, like, you use Drampa and start taking some knockouts, which is really cool. So what you could do is, like, you can, like, Soul Burst GX, put an energy on, like, a Drampa, Solgaleo, so another Solgaleo, and maybe on this Solgaleo, and then this Solgaleo, and then all you need is a DC, and you'll start taking some knockouts, maybe an energy, and you can get multiple Pokemon set up thanks to that Soul Burst GX. Now, there is another card in this deck that we haven't talked about, and that is Rayquaza. Rayquaza has a Turbo Snort attached to base energy cards from your Scope out to one of your bench Pokemon, and this is going to help you recycle your energies, like maybe the double DCE, maybe DC and Metal, and it's a really, really strong card overall. Now, I think this deck was originally made by Andrew Wambolt. I'm not 100% sure if that's who... I mean, I don't know if Andrew made it, but I know he's been talking about it for a little while, so I'm excited to see the deck actually win a Regionals, which is fantastic. And it does play one Hala, which is... I think you would play maybe more, because shuffle your hand into deck if you have used your GX tag, then draw 7 cards, if not, draw 4. And since you're playing Solgaleo, the whole point is like this turn 2 Soul Burst. And with only one Hala, it's kind of hard on drawing to it, so maybe play another one, which could be really nice. But Tito did win with it, so he knows what he's doing. One Max Potion heal all your damage off your Pokemon. We saw the same thing in Metagross. For Rare Candy, try to get that turn to Solgaleo. It's a little bit different because Metagross, you know, you take your time, set up. Once you're set up, you're good to go, because Metagross can recycle your energies, while Solgaleo can't. You kind of just discard your energies, and that's it. But you still do 230, which knocks out pretty much everything in the game, which is fantastic. So that is going to be the Solgaleo deck, and it's definitely a different deck. And there's a lot of different decks that we saw here today, like, you know, like the Rainbow Road. There's a Greninja, which Greninja is not too different, but it's definitely a newish deck if you don't follow the format a lot, for sure. And of course, there's Solgaleo Rayquaza deck, okay? So, next up, we got 2 decks we've seen before. We know these guys do. I mean, we have Michael Primus winning Vestal Queen Zoroark deck. It'll probably be one of the biggest decks of this weekend. It's really strong. Revenge is probably one of the most broken attacks in the game. And thanks to, like, Flareon and Vaporeon, you can become different types. So now you're Grass, Fire, and Water. And you can put down one Zoroark and put a ton of pressure on your opponent. Because if your opponent benches 2 of your Pokemon, you can start Mind Jack them for a knockout. And even then, like, Mind Jack is just a really good attack against his non-EX decks, because a lot of these non-EX decks do play a bunch of Pokemon, and with Zoroark, you can easily kind of counter that, which is fantastic. Of course, Special Charge, get back your DCEs. Revitalize, get 2 Grass Pokemon back in your hand. And yeah, not too much to say. We know this deck does. Vestal Queen is not a new deck, and it's going to stick around, and it's going to be really big at U.S. Nationals. So make sure you text against Vestal Queen and you know how to take it down. And the 20th and final deck. So we've covered 19 decks so far. The 20th and last deck is going to be Volcanion. Now this deck got second place at Origins by Michael Catron? I don't know if I wrote his name down right or not. But it's a Volcania deck, which a lot of people thought Volcania was dead. And it made an appearance at Mexico, and now it has made second place. And I imagine it'll continue doing well at Internationals. It plays a 4/4 Volcanion. You know, Volcanion with that Power Heater. Choose 2 Revenge Pokemon, attach a Fire Energy card from your discard pile to each of those Pokemon. With Volcanion, you can use a Steam Up to discard a Fire Energy, do an additional 30 damage, and they kind of go hand in hand, of course. But now Volcanion has a new friend, which is Turtonator GX, and it has that Nitro Tank GX attack. Attach 5 energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon any way you like. And we're going to see no Max Elixir, so what he really relies on is these, like, the Power Heaters and the Nitro Tank GX to power multiple Volcanions and start taking knockouts. Now, since we're in a Garbodor heavy format, we need a way to beat that, and of course, that's going to be with Starmie. Starmie does have that Space Beacon. Once your turn before you attack, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, put 2 base unit cards from this pile into your hand, which can help you reuse like Steam Up and stuff like that, which is fantastic. We see 4 Brookle Hill. Once again, we're trying to counter Garbodor with their best deck in the format. But once during each player's turn, that player may search deck for a basic water and put that onto their bench or fighting. So your opponent can like automatically use this no matter what. So if you're playing against like a grass deck at Nationals and you're playing Brookle Hill and your opponent uses your Brookle Hill and like you don't play water Pokemon, your opponent can be like, yes I do, what are you talking about? Anybody can use your Brooklet Hill and they can just fail it and be like, oh, I prize my water Pokemon or my fighting Pokemon. I mean, almost all, a lot of decks play Sudowoodo, so they kind of get away with Brooklet Hill regardless, but don't be, like, freaking out if you're playing Volcanion and your opponent uses your own Brooklet Hill and they don't have any water or fighting Pokemon. Just saying that. 2-choice band. Now you do additional 30 damage, which means you do 160, and then you only need 1 steam up to do 190, which is really strong. Of course, 2 field blower to get rid of those floatstones off those Garbotox and Garbodus, which is really strong. 1 fisherman. Just get more energies back in your hand if Starmie is not enough, which sometimes it's not. We only see 3 via Seeker, but playing 3 Lysander, 4 Sycamore, and 4 N. A very, very heavy reliant item deck. And like I said, the main focus of this deck is put a bunch of energy in your discard pile and then start using Power Heater. It's not like the old Volcanion where you use like multiple max elixirs to get Volcanion's power up. Now you take your turn. You're not talking about 2. You're not attacking by turn 2. You're attacking by turn 3 or 4, not by turn 1 or 2. So that's what I was trying to say there. And yeah, that is going to be the 20th deck, and that is Volcania. So, I mean, today we covered a bunch of decks, and yesterday we covered a bunch of decks as well. But I'm pretty sure there's a ton of different decks that we missed, and if we missed your favorite deck that you can play this format, let me know down below in the comments. I mean, like I said, there's a ton of different decks that we could play, and I'm excited to see what else will come out during U.S. Nationals, or International, sorry. So, today we cover the Rayquaza, Zoroark, Gallade, Greninja, Lycanroc, Raichu, Ninetales, Rainbow Road, Solgaleo, Vespiquen, Zoroark, and Volcanion. Okay, no, Zoroark and Vespiquen, Zoroark. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen today. I mean, this weekend, there's 20 different decks that you can play, and if you missed yesterday's video, make sure you check it out. And guys, hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new about these lists. All these lists were free, and all these have done very well. I think every single one of these lists were like top cut lists, like by very good players, and that just proves how great this format is right now. There's literally 20 different decks we covered in 2 days, and there's probably like maybe 10 more decks so you can easily win nationals this weekend. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Alrighty, bye. Alright guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to our 3 sponsors, 60 Cards, Yeti Gaming, and the Pokemon Company International. Links to everything will be down below in the description. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Alrighty.